Oh, we are live. This is Sound Booth Theater Live. These are the live streams of the Dungeon Crawler Carl audio immersion tunnel. You leftover tea. Yeah, this is part 3. We are only, let's see, a few pages, no, 80 something pages into episode 1. So episode 1 is going to be our longest episode of this season. It looks like it's going to be like a couple hours, maybe. But yeah, before let's see, the first 2 parts we got all the way through the tutorial guild, and Donut yanked the legendary pet treat out of Carl's hand, so now she's in a pile of goop on the floor. And Carl, of course, is a bit panicked about it, but Mordecai's like, just give it time. It'll be fine. So I hope you guys had a good time over the past couple days if you were here. If you weren't here, thanks for coming and checking it out. We should be finishing up. In fact, I'm going to make sure we finish up this episode today because I cannot take 3 days per episode to record this damn series because we're going to have 8 episodes. Anyway, before we get started, just want to say, go to our website, soundbooththeater.com, find whatever you want on there. You probably want Kaiju. You probably want Kaiju because that is also Matt Dinniman. That is our cinematic audio version of that production. And you guys will love it. That'll inform you as to what to expect from Dungeon Crawler Carl's audio immersion tunnel. The audio immersion tunnel is, of course, not a cinematic audio for legal reasons, but it will be incredibly similar in execution to Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon. So go ahead and pick that up, and we have a sale going on. It's our Christmas in July sale. It's 15% off if you're purchasing it for yourself. It is 25% off if you're purchasing it for someone else, if you are gifting it to somebody. Yes, we do have a gifting function on our website, and people have been using it to take advantage of this sale. So if you know that there's a bug in here. How dare you, son of a bitch! If you know that there's people in your world who would love Sound Booth Theater because you do too, get them some gifts, spend some money on them, put your money where your mouth is. And when you make recommendations to other people, just go ahead and send them the gift. Send it to them. They'll have to listen to it at that point. They will have no choice. They will say, this person spent $1 million on Sound Booth Theater's entire catalog and sent it to me. Now I have to listen to all of it. That's our goal. Is that I bet it would cost like $200. I bet our whole catalog on our website. I don't know, maybe 500. Maybe 500. I don't know. But this is live, by the way. Quest Store 6 asked if this is live. Yes, it's live. So yeah, go check it out, guys. This sale's only gonna go through. It's only gonna go through next Tuesday, August 1st. Yeah, get people some gifts. Get into the spirit of giving. That reminds me, I kind of want to look at sales from yesterday. I will look at it later. And let's get going here. All right. Where is Ableton? Here it is. And DCC Scene 6. Opening that up. While we're waiting for Ableton to load up, just want to remind you guys one more time that last week, Monster Hunt NYC 3 just came out. The fact that we have a sale going on means that you should be able to get, 15% off. The whole series now is $8 a piece. So 15% off of that is $3. $3.60. Sounds right. So, just over $20 to get the entire trilogy of the original Sound Booth Theater cinematic audio. Um, and For those of you who don't know, Monster Hunt NYC is a project that Harmon Cooper wrote specifically for me and Annie to do. This was back when Sound Booth Theater first got started, and he he decided, you know what, he wanted to write a book that was a tribute to music because, Harmon is a musician as well, and he wanted me and Annie to show our strengths, and so we did. He wrote it, and we wrote all the music, and we performed it. We put it together, and we threw it out there. And it didn't make the splash that we wanted it to, but over time, people have been recognizing it and picking it up. I think you guys will enjoy it as well. I mean, this entire series is what, 6 years in the making? That's how long it's taken us to put these three together, for various reasons, but mainly we just wanted to get the music perfect. So, go check it out, guys. All three of them are available on our website now. Just pick up the first one if you're not sure about it, but right now the sale's going on. If you know somebody in your life who really loves music, they might enjoy this as well, and so the gifting is there, 25% off. Alright, here goes. Ableton is loaded up. Let's go. As we waited for my mutant cat to emerge from her. As we waited for my mutant cat to emerge from her blob, I examined my other loot. The fingerless gloves went onto my hands. Of the two weapons, I liked the feel of the cudgel more than that of the poker, which felt like it would bend and break the moment I hit something with it. I examined the cudgel's properties. The game show host AI described it using a caveman voice. The game show... Maybe I'll just get rid of that. Toad cudgel. Big stick for bonking. Bonk toad. Bonk mob. Bonk girlfriend and drag back to cave by hair. Bonk girlfriend and drag back to cave by hair. I examined the cudgel's properties. Toad cudgel. Big stick for bonking. Bonk toad. Bonk mob. Bonk mob. Bonk girlfriend and drag back to cave by hair. All right. That was a good one. I'm into it. Immortal Redneck Brothers says, The Immortal Redneck Brothers said, already listened to the entire audio of Kaiju Battlefield Surge and love it. Love Matt and Jeff. Thank you. I love you too, man. Yes, it is time for the Queen Anne chunk. I wondered if the metal pot was still out there. It'd be better than this bullshit. I wondered if the metal pot was still out there. It'd be better than this bullshit. I placed my hand on the symbol branded onto my jacket. Bullshit. I placed my... Oh, you know what? Do you guys want to see my DAW? I'll go ahead and share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Nope. Here we go. My jacket. Goblin Pass. It's a tattoo on your forearm. Now you'll never get a good job. Note: pass tattoos cannot be hidden unless you purchase a cover-up sleeve. Will show through any armor you may wear. Removes automatic. Removes automatic goblin hostility. Allows for free passage through goblin-controlled territory in the dungeon. Warning! Holding a goblin pass will cause natural goblin enemies, such as fairy-class creatures, to deal 20% more damage against you. Still, it looks kinda badass. I grumbled that the system didn't give me a choice. It just burned it right onto me. I didn't have any tattoos, and I'd never really wanted one. Most everyone I knew had plenty, but I'd never liked the idea. My old man had been covered in them, and it wasn't ever my old man had been covered in them, and it wasn't ever something I associated with being cool. My old man had been covered in them, and it wasn't ever something I associated with being cool. The black, leathery, and hooded nightgaunt cloak The black, leathery, and hooded nightgaunt cloak weighed almost nothing. It appeared to be made from the wing of some sort of demon creature. The skin was scratched. The skin was stretched. The skin was stretched between rows of long, body-length finger bones. When I put the hood up, I noticed it had pointed. When I put the hood up, I noticed it had pointed ear things on either side. Enchanted Nightgaunt Cloak of Stoutness. The wearer of this cloak gains +4 to Constitution and becomes resistant to poison and ice-based attacks. In addition, the cloak adds anti-piercing resistance to all worn armor. It also makes you look like a dollar store Batman. Warning: if a Nightgaunt spies you wearing this, they probably won't be too happy with you. This is an extremely valuable cloak, but the shirt is better. Much better. Enchanted Trollskin Shirt of Pummeling. The wearer of this shirt gains +7 to the regeneration skill. In addition, all melee-based damage debuffs such as stun, knockback, disarm, and out of breath are negated. Oops, listen to that breath. Negated. There we go. Negated. Where did it go? Negated. The shirt is also quite stylish. Maybe a little too stylish. Unlike most monster skin apparel items, this shirt will not grant a negative reaction against. This shirt. Unlike most monster skin apparel items, this shirt will not grant a negative reaction amongst trolls. In fact, lady trolls might just want to haul you away for some one-on-one time if they see you in this. That shirt is one of the best Under Armour garments for tanking. A level 7 regeneration skill means you're back to full health pretty quickly after taking damage, in as little as 2 minutes. Finding it was a lucky break. This is something that would be in a platinum or legendary box. You don't have to tell me twice. The short-sleeved shirt felt cool to the touch and form-fitted to my skin. 2 notifications appeared. I put the leather jacket back on and then added the cloak. I felt a quick rush of power course through me as my constitution rose from 5 to 9. New achievement! Ooh, magic! You're wearing magical gear for the first time! You're a wizard! Let's see. I want to do a. Obviously, this is supposed to be a nod to what's his name? The big dude from Harry Potter, fucking what is his name? Hagrid, yeah. Let me look that up. Let me look him up. You're a wizard, Harry. Like that. Actually, I was pretty close. I was actually pretty close. You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Crawler. You're a wizard, Crawler. The reward? You've received a bronze adventurer box. The box contained another torch and a pair of healing potions, leaving me with a total of 6. I still didn't have any pants or shoes. I was wearing a jacket, a cloak, and boxers. 2 notifications appeared. All right, so we don't need that. A cloak and boxers. Enchanted toe ring of the splatter skunk. Imbues wearer with +3 strength and gives +3 to the skill powerful strike. Also, it's a toe ring. It's probably uncomfortable, and it makes you look like one of those hippie assholes who send... Probably uncomfortable, and it's probably uncomfortable, and it makes you look like one of those hippie assholes who sit around in a field juggling and hula hooping all day. Okay, so powerful strike. Also, it's a toe ring. So we'll get rid of this. And we'll do this. Duplicate. Also, it's a toe ring. And then we'll do, let's see, another, we'll copy this, make some space, paste it. And let's reverse this one. Ring. It's and that's not good enough. Well, maybe let's bring down the pitch. It's probably... There we go. Also, it's a toe ring. It's probably uncomfortable, and it makes you look like one of those hippie assholes who sit around... There we go. Oh, powerful strike is a good skill. Each level multiplies your damage when you're not wielding a weapon. So at level 3, each kick or punch does 3 times the damage it normally would. With your unarmed combat skill and the pugilism skill, your fists already do much more damage than either of those weapons. You might want to consider a monk class, which will enhance that further. Let's see. Yep, okay, never mind. So I could be like a ninja? What's that further? So I could be like a ninja? I'm gonna try that one more time. There. So I could be like a ninja? There we go. What's that further? So I could be like a ninja? I sat down and slipped the toe ring on. It adjusted itself, sliding easily onto my filthy, bloody index toe on my right foot. Like the description warned, it was uncomfortable. I'd never been a jewelry guy. I hopped up and down, trying to get used to it. I felt my strength rise by 50%. And just like that, you're almost as strong as any human who's ever lived. I received another snarky achievement for putting on jewelry, but no reward. I started to fiddle around with my... Okay, wait a minute. So I think we actually... Oh, how long did it take me to get this good on Ableton? I don't fucking know. I guess 10 years? 15 years? 20 years? Okay, I'm gonna unshare... Oh, I haven't been sharing my fucking screen. Well, that's alright, because I meant to turn it back off just now. Let's see. We have some new stuff written. Everything for episodes 1 through 3. Toe ring achievement, here goes. Okay, so he wrote 2 different versions. I think. Okay, here goes. I started to fiddle around with my... I received another snarky achievement. So we'll get rid of that sentence and do this instead. New achievement. New achievement. Bedazzle my toesies. You put on your first piece of magical jewelry. As a bonus, you happen to be wearing it in a spot that Daddy really, really likes. Reward? You have my undivided attention. Okay, so... Now I will share my screen. Ah! And let's switch to this. There we go. And no, this way. Keep forgetting. New achievement. Bedazzle my toesies. You put on your first piece of magical jewelry. As a okay, I'm gonna kill some space here. Just kind of like make his freak out. Jewelry. And we'll do that same trick we did earlier. Bump, bump, bump. Let's cut this one. We'll go crazy with the pitch here. As a bonus, you happen to be wearing it in a spot that Daddy really... Oops. Let's see. Copy. There we go. Daddy really likes. He likes reward. And let's go ahead and do a reverse on this one too. Reward. Get rid of that and blend this way. Reward. And maybe get rid of a little more space here. Reward. You have my undivided attention. Undivided. My undivided. You have my that shouldn't be there. Have my undivided. And undivided. You have my undivided attention. Have my undivided attention. There we go. That's better. New achievement. New achievement. Bedazzle magical jewel. New achievement. Bedazzle my toesies. You put on your first piece of magical jewelry. As a bonus, you happen to be wearing it in a spot that Daddy really likes. Reward. You have... Let's kill some space there. And this shit didn't work for me. He likes. Reward. You have my undivided attention. There we go. Huh. Huh. That was creepy. I started to fiddle around with my skills menu. Despite the heavy filtering, there was a lot of information in there. There was literally a skill for everything. The menu had a search box. I typed in Frogger just to see what would happen. Growing up, my old man had an original stand-up Frogger video game machine from an arcade. I had spent hours and hours playing the game when I was stuffed in the basement. My mom locked me in there a lot. Whenever my dad had his friends over, they'd smoke and drink and get loud, and my mom didn't want them being a bad influence on me. So instead, I stayed downstairs with no television or internet, and that damn machine. The top score one could get on an original machine was 99,990. The game never ended, so you could keep playing past that, and the score would cycle over and over. My record was 879,460. My record was 879,460. Sure enough, it popped up. I'm going to do something a little more elaborate here. Does the AI always... Does the TV announcer guy always act like this? Like this? Never seen it like this before. Never seen it like this. Never seen it quite like this early in the crawl. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just improvising here. Never seen it quite like this early in the crawl. Never seen it act this way so early in the crawl. But sometimes the AI will. But there are sometimes glitches in the AI's programming. Guy always act like this? Never seen it act this way so early in the crawl. But there are sometimes glitches in the AI's programming. I started to feel... So it sounds like he's just reaching for things, right? Like cycle over and over. My record was 800 over. My record was 800. All right, so it popped up. Frogger, 1981 video game cabinet version. Result hidden due to filters. Skill 8. I grinned at that. I wondered why that skill was hidden by the filters, but things like lacing boots, skill 3, wasn't. It probably only included skills useful in the dungeon. I doubted there would be a Frogger machine in one of these hallways. But that wasn't true. Was it? Assuming it hadn't been tossed in a landfill. That old Frogger machine was down here somewhere. At least the atoms of it, or whatever. This dungeon was literally made out of items built by human civilization.
Really, Carl? Really, Carl? Really, Carl?
What? Who's there?
If you're going to insist upon wearing that hideous cloak in public, you might want to do yourself the dignity of putting pants on first. I just can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired you in the first place.
This should go up here.
Really, Carl?
What? Who's there?
If you're going to insist upon wearing that hideous cloak in public, you might want to do yourself the dignity of putting pants on first. I just can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired you in the first place.
Let's try again.
If you're going to insist upon wearing that hideous cloak in public, you might want to do yourself the favor. Now, if you're going to insist upon wearing that hideous cloak in public, you might want to do yourself the dignity of putting pants on first. I just can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired you in the first place.
I looked wildly about for the speaker, expecting to find someone dressed like a medieval princess. Instead, gotta be fucking kidding me. You've gotta be fucking kidding me. There we go. And that's the end of that scene. That's the end of that scene. Scene 7 coming up. You like the... I can't even remember exactly how it goes in the first book.
Really, Carl?
What? Who's there? What? Who's there?
If you're going to insist upon wearing that hideous cloak in public, you might want to do yourself the dignity of putting pants on first. I just can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired you in the first place. Really, Carl?
What? Who's there? Bitchier, bitchier.
Really, Carl?
What? Who's there?
If you're going to insist... If you're going to insist upon wearing that hideous cloak in public, you might want to do yourself the dignity of putting pants on first. I just can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired you in the first place.
I looked wildly about for the... speaker, expecting to find someone dressed like a medieval princess. Instead, you've gotta be fucking kidding me. All right, I think that's a little bit better. All right. Saved. Rid of these. Save as scene 7. Donut? I looked down at the cat. Mordecai stood beside me, mouth agape. Despite being nothing but a pile of goo just a few minutes earlier, the cat appeared to be exactly the same as before. Maybe she had gotten a little bigger, but not by much. Either way, she was still decidedly a cat. Except for the talking part.
First off, Carl, my name is GCBWRNW Princess Donut, the Queen and Tronk, and I'm going to have to insist you call me by my proper title. I will accept just Princess or even Princess Donut, but not if we are in the presence of high company. First off, Carl, my name is GC. First off, Carl, my name is GCBWRNW Princess Donut, the Queen and Tronk, and I'm going to have to insist you call me by my proper title. I will accept just Princess or even Princess Donut, but not if we are in the presence of high company.
She looked at Mordecai as if he was something she had just vomited upon the floor.
I suppose Princess Donut will do for now.
I see what's happened. You're partied with her, so you can see for yourself.
Pull up her stats.
Strength 11, intelligence 11, constitution 2, dexterity 8, charisma 25. What the hell? She was stronger and more intelligent than me, and her charisma was just ridiculous. What happened?
Her stats were all 1, all except dexterity, which was always 8, and charisma, which was 5. Whatever buff you gave her kept her race, but changed her stats. Let me look. Yes, it's like I thought. Look in her health menu. It shows conditions.
Buffs. Enhanced growth. After initial boost to 4 random stats, all additional levels will automatically grant +1 to strength and intelligence. Charisma will gain +2 per level. No additional stat points will be received upon level up. That's all JTJ. Wait, so she's getting 4 stat points per level instead of 3?
Yes, and she doesn't have to wait until she picks a class before they disperse. But that boost is a double-edged sword. She's forever stuck with a constitution of 2 and a dexterity of 8, unless she can find some gear that will enhance it, or if she picks a race and class that changes it for her. But even then, the points will still distribute as indicated. With a charisma like that, she should consider a bard-based class. 2 points every level is going to add up fast. I'm immune to the effects of her charisma. Same with you and other crawlers. But all the other NPCs and mobs won't be. For the first several floors, that number is huge. Bigger than you realize.
But how can she talk? She's still a cat. She's still a cat.
I am right here, you know. It's quite rude to talk about me as if I'm not in the room, and if you must know, Carl, for me, I hear your speech as it should be heard, and you hear mine and you hear mine as that disgusting monkey grunting you call English. I imagine this other creature here. I imagine this other creature. I imagine this other creature hears it as squeaks and vermin hisses. The whole translation system is quite elegant, I must admit.
Still a cat.
I am right.
Cat.
I am right here, you know. It's quite rude to talk about me as if I'm not in the room, and if you must know, Carl, for me, I hear your speech as it should be heard, and you hear mine as that disgusting monkey grunting you call English. I imagine this other creature hears it as squeaks and vermin hisses. The whole translation system is quite elegant, I must admit. I'm gonna have to start the tutorial all over. She's not a pet anymore. She's now classified as a regular crawler.
Oh, see? So, yeah, this is an inconsistency because earlier she's already considered a crawler. So this was already kind of messed up. But I think we can just get rid of that.
I'm gonna have to start the tutorial all over. Not necessary. I heard everything you said to my manservant. Now wave your hand and grant me access to my prize boxes.
Oh, God damn it.
Not necessary. I heard everything you said to my manservant. Now wave your hand and grant me access to my prize boxes so we can get this farce rolling.
Why? I didn't record again.
over. Not necessary. I heard everything you said to my manservant. Now wave your hand at prize boxes so we can get this fast rolling.
Manservant.
Ling.
Manservant?
Rolling.
Manservant?
He's a little slow. Intelligence of only 3. Sad, really. But he's been with the family for a while now, and I just can't see myself letting him go. He's a little slow. Intelligence of only 3. Sad, really. But he's been with the family for a while now, and I just can't see myself letting him go.
I've activated your menus. Oh, wow. She received a legendary quadruped box for being the first cat to enter the dungeon.
I watched as a group of loot boxes lined up in front of her just as they had done with me. She only had 5 of them. 3 bronze ones with a couple healing potions and torches. Next was a silver adventurer box that contained a book and a pile of pet biscuits. The note over the book read, Tome of Magic Missile. Tome of Magic Missile. Next came the legendary box. The symbol on the front was of a lion thing. Only a single item came out, a small, jeweled tiara. The cat-sized crown glittered with smoky, dark gems. The deep purple stone in the center swirled internally with clouds, as if the center was liquid. Enchanted Crown of the Sepsis Whore.
That's JTJ.
That sounds ominous.
Wait until you read the description.
The item disappeared into her inventory. The cat sat down and started to groom herself. Are boxes custom tailored to the person? I pulled up the party menu. I quickly found I couldn't examine items in Donut's inventory, only items she had equipped.
Sort of. You'll receive items that can be used by your race, but not necessarily your class. So, a human barbarian might receive a necromancer staff.
Donut glowed a bright red.
Ah, Princess Donut. I see you taught yourself the magic missile spell already. That's good, good. In case you didn't know, tomes will permanently teach you the spell, and schools just cast it once. The other item received is quite valuable and powerful, but it is also a very dangerous item. Before you decide to put it on, you should take special note that it...
The crown magically appeared on her head. How the hell did she do that? I'd had to manually put on my cloak and shirt.
She's a quadruped, so she has a different user interface than you. She can perform many actions directly from her menu.
Now that it was equipped, I could examine the tiara's properties. Enchanted Crown of the Sepsis Whore. Who's a dirty girl? You're a dirty girl. This is a fleeting item. This is a unique item. Imbues wearer with +5 intelligence, grants the user +5 to the good first impression skill. All attacks, including magical attacks, now have a 15% chance to inflict the sepsis debuff. Warning! Seriously, though, I'm going to say this again. Warning! Read this shit before you put it on. Placing this crown upon your head permanently places you within the royal line of succession for the Blood Sultanate on the 9th floor of the World Dungeon. Removing this item will not remove this status. royal members of the Blood Sultanate will be required to slay the Sultan and all other members of the royal family before descending to the 10th floor. You'll only want to wear this if you're a bloodthirsty, raging psychopath. That, damn it. I'm not so sure you should have put that on. That, I'm not so sure you should have put that on.
It's purple. Purple is my color. Do you know how many purple ribbons I've won? Do you know what it takes to get a purple ribbon?
What does fleeting mean? And why is there an asterisk by unique? Donut had received a few more boxes from learning the spells and putting on the tiara. It was all low-tier potions and torches. She sorted through the items now, hissing with displeasure each time she received another torch. Hissing with displeasure each time she received another torch. Now, hissing with displeasure each time she received another torch.
Fleeting means it'll crumble to dust the moment she takes it off. If that happens, another crown will be generated somewhere else in the dungeon. Now that it's on her, don't let her take it off. If another crawler gets the crown, it'll just be one more person you'll have to kill to get off that floor.
The idea of having to fight actual people hadn't occurred to me. Would that really happen? The thought of it made me sick. I looked at Donut. What the hell am I going to do now? What the hell am I going to do now? The tutorial was over, and I knew it. We'd have to go back out there.
It's quite simple, really. You need to assist me to this 18th level so I can exit this hellscape and resume my rightful place as liege. I'm assuming this rat creature won't be able to travel with us. I'm assuming this rat creature won't be able to travel with us. Liege. I'm assuming this rat creature won't be able to travel with us.
She lifted her paw and pointed it at me. She lifted her paw and pointed it at me.
So, you have been promoted from manservant to bodyguard. Congratulations, Carl.
Princess Donut has named your party the Royal Court of Princess Donut. Princess Donut has changed your title to Royal Bodyguard. Princess Donut has changed her title to Grand Champion Best in Dungeon.
Really? 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 Really?
She has the highest combined stat total, so she's the designated party leader. As such, she has more control over the party menu. Don't worry, the titles don't mean anything. Listen up, kid. She's quite a bit more powerful than you are right now, so you'll want to stick together. At least until you get to the 9th floor. That will be a challenge. You can't always leave the party. That crown is on her head, not yours.
Let's try this again.
Worry, the titles don't mean anything. Come here. Listen up, kid. She's quite a bit more powerful than you are right now, so you'll want to stick together. At least until you get to the 9th floor. That will be a challenge. You can always leave the party. That crown is on her head, not yours.
Donut walked up to the door and scratched at it. It opened on its own. Really?
uh, she has the highest combined stat total, so she's the designated party leader. As such, she has more control over the party menu. Don't worry, the titles don't mean anything. Come here. Listen up, kid. She's quite a bit more powerful than you are right now, so you'll want to stick together. At least until you get to the 9th floor. That will be a challenge. You can always leave the party. That crown is on her head, not yours.
Donut walked up to the door and scratched at it. It opened on its own.
And scene. Bar. All right, we're on to scene 8. Tea noises. All right, here goes.
Time to level collapse. 4 days, 20 hours.
All right, what's going on here? Don't know how that happened.
And with no additional fanfare, we left the guild and struck out into the dungeon.
By the way, now that I've successfully trained both of you, if you enter any additional training guilds, you'll be transported back to this room. I'm now your registered guide, so feel free to come back here if you have any additional questions. You'll lose access to me once you hit the 4th floor.
Yeah. Take care. Good luck out in the universe once this is over.
Yeah. Good luck to you, too. It's not worth it. No matter what they tell you. Not until floor 12, and even then negotiate as much as you can. Remember that.
My mind reeled. What did that mean? Was he saying it was better to die than to take whatever exit they offered on floors 10 and 11? Did that even matter? Floor 10. Who was Mordecai kidding? 3 million people had died in this place in the very first hour. I wasn't expecting to survive until the next floor opened. I wasn't expecting to survive until the next floor opened up.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to walk that way, and if we get attacked by anything, you protect me.
Wandering aimlessly. That's the plan?
We have approximately 29 hours before these aliens air the television show. We have approximately 29 hours before these aliens air their television show. That means we have 29 hours to do something absolutely spectacular. But first, we need to find you some pants. I will not be presented to the universe in such a fashion I can see them. We need to find you some pants. I will not be presented to the universe in such a fashion. I can just see the comments now on the Martian social media. We need to find you some pants. I will not be presented to the universe. But first, we need to find you some pants. I will not be presented to the universe in such a fashion. I can just see the comments now on the Martian social media. A beautiful cat blog, but why isn't her bodyguard wearing pants? A beautiful media. Beautiful cat blog. Social media. Beautiful cat. A beautiful cat blog, but why isn't her bodyguard wearing pants? Media. A beautiful cat blog, but why isn't her bodyguard wearing pants? Pants.
I started moving down the hall. We headed back the way we'd come before, back toward the main thoroughfare. This entire area was scorched black from the explosion of the goblin dozer. The smear of blood ran from where the dozer had run over the goblin remained. Everything else had been destroyed in the explosion. You know what? You're not wearing pants either. You're not wearing pants either.
Nor am I wearing a cloak that makes me look like a... Nor am I wearing a cloak that makes me look like I won a participation trophy at the Special Needs Comic-Con, Carl. I'm a cat. Cats don't wear pants. Don't be so droll.
Pants either. Wearing pants either.
Nor am I wearing a cloak that makes me look like I won a participation trophy at the Special Needs Comic-Con, Carl. I'm a cat. Cats don't wear pants. Don't be so droll.
Wearing pants either.
Nor am I wearing a cloak that makes me look like I won a participation trophy at the Special Needs Comic-Con, Carl. I'm a cat. Cats don't wear pants. Don't be so droll.
Wearing pants either.
Nor am I wearing a cloak that makes me look like I won a participation trophy at the Special Needs Comic-Con, Carl. I'm a cat. Cats don't wear pants. Don't be so droll.
We came to the conjunction, and I warily looked around to the corner. I didn't see anything. This hallway was lit by torches, not the green lichen, so it was much brighter. It seemed completely abandoned in either direction. We stepped out into the wide tunnel.
Now, I know your simple mind is telling you to just keep...
Oh, okay. I was struggling with this decision earlier, but this, transformation, or whatever has happened, has made this much easier. I'm going to go that way, and you're going to go any other direction than that. Good luck.
What? You want to separate? I don't understand. What? 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 You want to separate? I don't understand. What? You want to separate? What? You want to separate? I don't understand.
Look. Mordecai said you're a lot more powerful than I am. Great. That means you'll probably be okay. More okay than me. But I would rather just get this over with and get squished by a goblin bulldozer than spend another second dealing with this bullshit. Cats are assholes, I get it. But do you know why people like cats, despite their assholeness? It's because they don't fucking talk! If they did, and they were all like you, they'd all be extinct because we'd have killed you all by now! Let's try this again.
Now, I know your simple mind is telling you to just keep...
Okay. I was struggling with this decision earlier, but this, transformation, or whatever has happened, has made this much easier. I'm going to go that way, and you're going to go any other direction than that. Good luck.
What? You want to separate? I don't understand.
Look, Mordecai said you're a lot more powerful than I am. Great. That means you'll probably be okay. More okay than me. But I would rather just get this over with and get squished by a goblin bulldozer than spend another second dealing with this bullshit. Cats are assholes, I get it. But do you know why people like cats, despite their assholeness? It's because they don't fucking talk! If they did, and they were all like you, they'd all be extinct because we'd have killed you all by now! I pulled up my menu and tried to figure out how to remove myself from the party. Wait,
Carl, wait! Don't! I'm sorry. Wait.
What? The cat sat on the floor. She seemed to deflate.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It's just... Have you ever woken up from a long dream? One where you're one thing, and now that you're awake, it takes you a moment to realize that's not who you really are.
I just looked at her.
Okay. When I woke up back there, I had all my memories of all my time being me. Of sitting in that window, looking outside, of watching television all day long, of all the hours of watching television all day long, of all the hours in the carrier and back of Miss Beatrice's car, travelling to those horrid yet wonderful shows. Of watching television all day long, of watching television all day long, of all the hours in the carrier and back of Miss Beatrice's car, of watching television all day long, of watching television all day long, of all the hours in the carrier and back of Miss Beatrice's car, travelling to those horrid yet wonderful shows, of being told what a princess I am. And then, suddenly, my mind looked back on all of it, and I understood what had happened. I am a grand champion, Carl. I'm supposed to act a certain way, but sitting in your lap, watching you get fragged over and over in Call of Duty, I like that too. I mean, you really suck at that game, but you keep playing. I didn't realize it at the time, but I liked that.
So, what are you saying? That you're not a crazy, stuck-up asshole princess?
Oh, I am a princess. Oh, I am a princess, Carl, but I'll try not to be too much of an arsehole. I need you. And you need me, okay? Look, I'm really scared here. I don't want to be alone. And I know you, and you don't want to be alone either. I saw you the other day, looking at the map on your computer, and then at those apartments on Craigslist.
What do you mean?
And then at those apartments on Craigslist.
What do you mean?
There was that day when the passes were clear. You could have taken me back to You could have taken me back to Miss Beatrice's parents, but you didn't want to. You were looking at apartments, making sure they allowed cats. You were thinking about catnapping me.
What do you mean?
There was that day when the passes were clear. You could have taken me back to Miss Beatrice. There was that day when the passes were clear. You could have taken me back to Miss Beatrice's parents, but you didn't want to. You were looking at apartments, making sure they allowed cats. You were thinking about catnapping me.
That's exactly what I had been doing. But I hadn't even admitted it to myself.
It wouldn't have worked, by the way. Her dad would have gotten me back right away.
That was true, too. Bee's dad was a lawyer out of Yakima.
Back right away.
That was true, too. Bee's dad was a lawyer out of Yakima. Okay. Let's keep moving. Okay. Let's keep moving. The minimap showed the cardinal directions, and we headed east. I kept an eye out for any special rooms or other dots. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not wearing pants because you decided to jump out the window. That reminded me, and I felt in my pocket. Yes! A pack of Marlboro Reds. I still had half a pack left. I still had my Zippo. I'd also received a lighter from that goblin box, so now I had two. I had the urge to pull the pack out right then, but I knew I probably wouldn't get any more cigarettes ever again. I had to conserve them.
If I hadn't jumped out the window, we'd both be dead right now.
Why did you jump anyway?
Stop. There's something down there.
I forgot I need to make a track for Annie. Let's give her this color. No, that's still yellow. This color? No, that's still yellow too. Which one is green? Need a green one. This one? No, that's... What the fuck is wrong with my eyeballs? We'll use that one. Dude, I'm so colorblind. Let's see. This one? There we go.
There's something down there.
We'd passed by multiple conjunctions and alleys. Everything in this maze was featureless so far. I saw no signs of life whatsoever. We stopped now by a thin alleyway, similar to the one that had hidden the goblin dozer. It was completely pitch black in there. On my map, the alley led down to another conjunction, then several more tributaries. The map only revealed so much of the area, so I couldn't see past there. There were no red dots or anything like that. Not that I could see. What is it? Donut leaped up off the ground and landed on my shoulder. I suppressed an oof. She wasn't nearly as heavy as she used to be when she did that. Then I remembered my strength was much higher than before. She curled her long, fluffy tail around my neck and glared. What is it? Psst, psst, psst. Donut leaped up off. What is it? Psst, psst, psst. Donut leaped up off the ground and landed on my shoulder. What? What do you see? Two bolts shot out of Donut's eyes, one after another. They were like laser blasts from a sci-fi movie. I was so surprised that I almost fell backward. Instead, I just stumbled a little. I remembered she had that magic missile spell. What do you see? Whoa! The first bolt hit the rocky wall of the alley, sending bits of rock and smoke showering. The second was better aimed and traveled the length of the tunnel before splashing against something. It was too far away for me to see what it was, but the moment the missile hit it, a red dot appeared on my map.
Okay, there it is. Go get it. Okay, there it is. Go get it. It's it.
Yeah, maybe next time wait until we know what it is before we start randomly shooting at it. What if it had been a person? What if that had been a person?
That's quite obviously not a person, Carl! Carl!
Shit!
That's quite obviously not a person, Carl!
Shit! Shoot another missile! In the moment the thing was lit up by the pulse blast, I could distinctly see what it was. I got a good enough view for the info box to pop up. Bad llama. Level 3. It's a llama, but it's bad. If he were human, he'd be covered in prison tattoos and would be hanging out in front of the Circle K hitting on 14-year-old girls. They might be willing to sell you something if you have good stuff to trade. You won't want to get hit by their spit. Oh, God damn it, Donut! I jumped back from the alleyway entrance. A red, baseball-sized ball of spit blasted out of the hallway and splattered across the floor. A red baseball across the floor.
The bad llama will be played by Ryan Reed, by the way, not me.
It's the floor. It sizzled where it hit, and the stones of the rocky floor turned crimson. Lava. The llama was shooting lava out of its mouth.
I balled my fists. Mordecai had said my punches were more powerful than either of the weapons I had, but the idea of fighting a fucking llama with my bare hands was ridiculous. I had the fingerless gloves I'd received in a loot box, but they offered no armor protection. You're gonna have to shoot it again!
I can't!
In!
I can't! I'm out of mana!
Didn't you just get a mana potion? The damn llama was even bigger than I expected. It was as large as a horse. The creature had giant yellow buck teeth. It turned its scorched and tan-colored head to glare at me. One of its eyes had been blown off by the missile. Black and red ichor poured down the side of its face. It had the debuff Septic pulsing over its head. The powerful debuff was similar to poison. It worked faster, but it couldn't be stacked, and unlike poison, it could be healed with a simple healing spell or potion. The llama's health was already about 3/4 gone. Donut howled and leaped off my shoulder as the llama reared back to spit again. The llama's health was... Donut howled... is gone. Spit again. The thing's neck glowed. I hit it with an uppercut and a left hook right in the face. I felt bones crunch. Glowed. I hit it with an uppercut and a left hook right in the face. I felt face. I hit it with an uppercut and a left hook right in the face. I felt bone. My left hand exploded in pain, and I didn't know if the crunching bones were in the llama's face, in my hand, or both. Probably both. My left hand exploded in pain. Crunch. Ugh! My left hand exploded in pain, and I didn't know if the crunching bones were in the llama's... Probably both.
Yeah.
Oh, this needs to go in the Ryan track. Oops. It unleashed its gob of spit just as its head turned away from me. I felt the heat of the lava ball sail over my shoulder. I stepped in and punched again. So, one more.
Nah.
It unleashed
Yeah.
its gob of spit away from me. Shoulder. I stepped in and punched again. And punched again. I stepped in and punched it again. A right jab directly in its glowing throat. The creature dropped like a sack of hammers. A right jab directly in its glowing throat.
Yeah.
The creature dropped like a sack of hammers.
Yeah.
I jumped back as the fur and skin around its neck erupted in red flames. I had ruptured whatever the hell was in its throat that made the lava. The lava around its throat started to rapidly cool, filling the hallway with an acrid, sulfur-like stench. Is it acrid? I can never remember how to fucking pronounce the word acrid. Is it acrid or acrid? Every time I think I know, it's wrong. Every single time. Let me look. Let me just look, okay? Okay? Accurate. All right. Got it right this time. I fucking did it!
Sulfur-like stench. My left hand was broken. My left hand was broken. It throbbed in pain, but thanks to my regeneration ability, it was already knitting itself. I pulled up my health menu and looked at the pie chart. I could zoom in on that specific injury. I could zoom in on that specific injury, and it gave me a detailed explanation on everything that was happening. My regeneration skill did a triage. My regeneration skill did a triage of my injuries, healing the most important items first. It was just my left hand along with some abrasions on my right hand. I could adjust the menu and give healing priority. I could adjust the menu and give healing priority to other parts too. After a minute, I was good as new. Good as new.
I dealt 71% of the damage. It's telling me I get to pick loot first. I dealt 71% of the damage. It's telling me I get to pick loot first.
The corpse blinked, and an info box popped up. Lootable corpse. Bad llama. Level 3. Killed by Crawler Grand Champion Best in Dungeon Princess Donut with an assist by Crawler Royal Bodyguard Carl. Poor llama skin. Uncooked llama steaks ×2. Baggie of trailer park grade meth ×2. The skin disappeared from the inventory menu along with one of the steaks. The corpse's skin disappeared, leaving just a gross pile of muscle.
Your turn.
Meth? I laughed at how absurd it was. I added the rest of the items to my inventory. My inventory added 2 new menus: food items and pharmaceuticals. I had a couple new achievements, one for looting a corpse and one for sharing experience. I received a pair of bronze adventurer boxes. Donut got the same, plus a couple additional achievements for casting her first spell and finally killing something, along with killing a mob higher level than herself. That
was no good.
We continued our trek east.
That was no good.
We continued.
Sloppy. You can't be injuring yourself every time we get into a minor tussle. Sloppy. You can't be injuring yourself every time we get into a minor tussle.
Minor tussle? We need to be more cautious. We can't just blindly stumble around.
No, we need to level up, and we need to do it quickly. I'm starting to think this main road is not the best choice for traveling or fighting.
She jumped down a random hallway, and I had to rush to keep up.
Let me get rid of that bleep bloop.
A few turns later, and we were far from the main thoroughfare. Here, the walls were tighter and the ceiling much lower. The whole place glowed green from the lichen on the walls. Some of the halls curved and met dead ends. But thanks to the map, which built itself as we went, it was easy to keep from getting too lost. The whole place was eerily barren.
Occasionally I heard a screeching noise coming from the distance, and once I heard something that sounded like a man. The whole place was eerily barren. Occasionally I heard a screeching noise coming from the distance, and once I heard something that sounded like a man screaming at the top of his lungs, followed by gunfire. But it was way far away, and I couldn't tell exactly from where. We traveled like this for what seemed like hours, not coming across anybody or anything except a few random tutorial guilds. And bathrooms. The bathrooms were everywhere. It was the strangest thing. There seemed to be a bathroom door about once every quarter-mile or so. Each doorway was different, and it appeared the doors were taken down. Each doorway was different, and it appeared the doors were taken from actual bathrooms in restaurants and bars and buildings from around the world. Some had the symbol for men or women on them. One had a handwritten sign in what looked like Korean. Another had a note saying it was for paying customers only. I opened the first 4 bathrooms we came across, and each one was the same inside. A silver toilet and a roll of toilet paper. No sink, no mirror. Just a toilet and barely enough room to sit down in. No matter how wide or thin the door was, the room was the same each time. After the 3rd room, I began to suspect it was the same room. To test it, I took the roll of toilet paper and pulled it out, dipping the end into the bowl of the waterless toilet. The next one we passed, I opened it up, and sure enough, the toilet paper remained dipped in the bowl. After I closed the door, I had Donut open it up. She could open and shut doors just by looking at them as long as she was close enough. She opened the door I'd just been in, but this time it was a knee-high cubicle featuring a litter box.
Oh, good. I got a wee. Oh, good. Oh, good. I got a wee.
Donut entered the room and shut the door. She emerged 30 seconds later, trailing litter all over the place. She looked over her shoulder at me.
You should go. You should go. You look like you need to go.
I always loved that line. You look like you need to go.
You look like you need to go.
What I really needed to do was sleep. Excuse me. What I really needed to do was sleep. The initial adrenaline rush from all of this was finally coming down, and I was exhausted. I'd only slept an hour or so before I'd woken up last night. Last night? It was barely 5 hours ago or so. In my health menu, it listed me as fatigued. It didn't cure itself with my regeneration. We had to find one of the rest areas. Mordecai said they were all over the place. We could set up a temporary base of operations there and explore the area cautiously and deliberately. We could set up a temporary base of operations there and explore the area cautiously and deliberately. This aimless wandering was going to get us into big trouble sooner rather than later. A couple minutes later, we were beset by a group of level 2 rats. There were 5 of them, and the screeching, hissing creatures were about half the size of Donut. The monsters weren't too big, but the bastards were huge for rats. They bit and scratched, and one even inflicted me with a poison debuff that only lasted for a second before my cloak canceled it out. They bit and scratched, and one even inflicted me with a poison debuff that only lasted for a second before my cloak canceled it out. They bit and scratched, and one even inflicted me with a poison debuff that only lasted for a second before my cloak canceled it out. I ended up defeating them by punting them against the wall one by one. They hit the wall and exploded like water balloons. Their deaths were over the top, overly gory, almost like their bodies contained twice as much blood as they should. Donut had leveled up to 2 after the llama battle. It appeared we received experience equal with the percentage of how much we participated in the battle, but the number wasn't exactly equal with how much damage we dealt. I suspected support activities such as tanking and healing also counted, though we didn't have nearly enough data to figure out if that was accurate or not. It also appeared that simply being in a party with someone and present at the battle garnered a nominal amount of experience. With the rats, I received nearly enough to level me up to 3. Donut, who hadn't lifted a paw to help me, spent the next 5 minutes bitching about how her mentorship should have counted for more experience. The cat was definitely making an effort to be less abrasive, but she was still a cat. She had a reckless streak to her, and a quick mouth, often making quips before realizing what she'd said. But she was also showing very cat-like signs of affection, too. One time I stopped and leaned up against a wall to rest, and she spent the time purring and rubbing up against my legs. I looked down at her, and she returned my gaze.
What?
By the time we finally found a safe room, we had participated in 10 more skirmishes, all against rats and these large cockroach things called scatterers. The bugs were the size of and shape of a loaf of bread. We didn't receive any additional loot of interest except multiple rat pelts, and one cockroach dropped an item called a scatterer carapace, which added itself to my crafting items menu. I killed every single one of them with my bare feet. I punted the rats and jumped on top of the cockroaches. The bug mobs crunched like potato chips under my feet.
Hold on. Devtron says, Jeff, there is an error there. What is the error? Oh. Right. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. Or fighting.
She jumped down a random hallway, and I had to rush to over her shoulder at me. What I really needed to do was sleep. The initial adrenaline rush from all of this was finally coming down, and I was exhausted. I'd only slept an hour or so before I'd woken up last night. I'd only slept an hour or so before I'd been woken up by Sam last night so we could play that. I'd only slept an hour or so before I'd been woken up by Sam last night so we could play Call of Duty. There we go. Exhausted. I'd only slept an hour or so before I'd been woken up by Sam last night so we could play Call of Duty. Let's try one more time. I'd only slept an hour or so before Sam had woken me up. I'd only slept an hour or so before I'd woken up last night from. I'd only slept an hour or so before Sam had woken me up last night to play Call of Duty. I'd only slept an hour or so before. I'd only slept an hour or so before Sam woke me up last night to play Call of Duty. There we go. And I was exhausted. I'd only slept an hour or so before Sam woke me up last night to play looking for someone to play. I'd only slept an hour or so before Sam woke me up last night, looking for someone to play Call of Duty with. Exhausted. I'd only slept an hour or so before Sam woke me up last night, looking for someone to play Call of Duty with. Last night? It was Call of Duty with. Last night? It was barely 5 hours ago. Feet, like potato chips under my feet. There it is. Okay. While I did most of the fighting, Donut now made an effort to fire one magic missile each fight from the safety of my shoulder. Her skill level in the spell went up. Her skill level in the spell went up to 3. I spent a moment examining her stats. My view was limited, but I could see she currently had a 17 in intelligence, giving her 17 mana points. Each zap of her spell cost 5 mana points. For me, the spell points regenerated very, very slowly, making magic almost useless. Donut regenerated much faster, at about 1 point a minute. I didn't know why she generated the points more quickly, but 1 a minute was still pretty slow. Most of these fights were decided in seconds. I hit level 3 and gained a skill called Foot Soldier, and a second one called Smush. The Foot Soldier skill increased the damage I dealt by kicking. The Smush skill was, something else. Teen noises intensify. Something else. Smush! Skill level 3. Killing with your feet.
Your bare, beautiful feet. Taking your bare foot, placing it on top of a living, conscious life, and then pressing lovingly down until that life ceases to be. Is there a more noble way to kill? The amount of pressure you can bring to bear upon an enemy with your unshod foot is increased by 10% with each level of this skill. The amount of pressure you can bring to bear upon an enemy with your unshod foot is increased by 10% with each level of this skill.
Smush! Skill level 3. Killing with your feet.
Ear bear.
With your feet.
Ear bear. Your bear. Beautiful feet. Taking your barefoot. Feet. Taking your barefoot, placing it on top of a living, conscious life, and then pressing lovingly down until that life ceases to be. Is there a more noble way to kill? Noble. Is there a more noble way to kill? The amount of pressure you can bring to bear upon an enemy with your unshod foot is increased by 10% with each level of this skill.
All right, got it.
I remembered the weird message I'd received before when I'd jumped on the Goblin Engineer. I thought it was just a throwaway joke, like most of the descriptions, but it seemed the AI, or whatever it was that controlled the game messages, really did have some sort of foot fetish. It was fucking weird.
I guess we're not getting you shoes.
Yes, we are. As soon as possible.
It sounds to me like the computer fancies you. Or your feet, at least. We'll need to take advantage of that. If the system likes us, then maybe it'll go easier on us. At least. We'll need to take advantage of that. If the system likes us, then...
It makes me uncomfortable.
Being eaten by a bugbear makes me uncomfortable, Carl. So, if your boyfriend ogling your tootsies keeps these easy-peasy bugs coming at us instead of more of those lava-splitting llamas, then you better buck up, get over your human male privilege, and take one for your princess. And take one for your princess.
Take one for my princess. I saw the safe room, glowing green on the edge of the minimap, and we angled our way toward there as we continued to argue. I saw the safe room, glowing green on the edge of the minimap, and we angled our way toward there as we continued to argue. The scatterers were becoming more frequent, and I knew the main nest had to be nearby.
At least I hoped that was what was happening, and that Donut wasn't right. A single level 4 cockroach scuttled away at our approach, disappearing toward a large, round cavern that was just past the entrance to the safe room. We didn't pursue it, choosing to head toward safety. We entered the safe room.
All right, and that is the end of a scene. I think scene 9 is going to be the end. The last of it. Nope, there's another scene. Damn, guys, this episode is going to be huge. You're going to get a very big episode for absolutely free. Annie doesn't do live streams usually. She used to, but she doesn't anymore.
Entering safe room. We entered the room, and both of us stopped at the entrance, gaping.
What is this magical place?
Donut jumped from my shoulder, her tail swishing about with excitement.
That's the biggest cat tree I've ever seen!
It's not a cat tree, it's the playground. We were in a fast food restaurant. It was almost like a McDonald's. It was almost like a McDonald's, but instead of everything being red and yellow, it was white and blue. The playground with the massive slide and tunnel system and ball pit were straight out of my own childhood. The signs on the walls were in a weird language. Polish, maybe? Pictures of plastic toys from some cartoon movie indicated this month's prize inside their off-brand Happy Meals. Pictures of plastic toys from some cartoon movie indicated this month's prize inside their off-brand Happy Meals. I couldn't remember the movie's name, but I recognized the hippopotamus and ferret thing. The movie was new, just released. They had taken a complete, intact fast food restaurant from some random country and placed it here underground. We'd come in through a main entrance. Large windows surrounded the empty restaurant. Large windows surrounded the empty restaurant, but the glass showed nothing but solid wall beyond. Three large screens stood directly above the counter where the menu would normally be. But instead of a menu, the screens contained information about the game in Syndicate Common Language. Donut bounded toward the play area, disappearing into the colorful children's maze while I read the screens. The first was a countdown until the level collapse, which was in 4 days and 17 hours. The line below that read, Countdown until the premiere of Dungeon Crawler World, Earth. 23 hours, 42 minutes. Remaining crawlers, 4,322,395. I blinked at that. Holy hell. It had been 10 million just a few hours before. As I watched, the number just kept going lower and lower. I looked down at my feet, which were bloody and covered in bits of bug chitin and that white goo that came out of the bigger ones. We'd been lucky so far.
We'd found some good gear and had survived several attacks. Weren't these other people working together? It seemed like too many people had died. I shuddered. I swallowed and continued to examine the signs. The next screen over read, Leaderboard. Leaderboard will populate upon collapse of the 3rd level. The 3rd screen read, Welcome to the safe room. You are on the 1st level. Rental rooms currently available? 20 rental rooms. 20. Rental room price, 0 gold. Personal spaces will become available for purchase on the 4th level. Food is available at this location. Rooms available? I looked at the minimap, expanding it to fill my screen. The restaurant had 3 exits. There was the door we'd come in through, a second door on the opposite wall that had a dotted line on the other side, and an X over the door. There was the door we'd come in through, a second door on the opposite wall that had a dotted line on the other side of an X over the door. Personal spaces are not yet available. That made it sound like I could buy an actual house or base of operations here. But if the floors kept collapsing, did that mean I'd have to buy a new one each floor? Through the 3rd door, which would have normally led outside, I could instead see a small hallway flanked by 10 tiny rooms on each side. Mini hotel rooms, each no bigger than a closet. Sleeping spaces. That's when I noticed the white dot on the map. I startled, realizing there was a creature standing right next to me, just behind the counter. I waved away the map and looked. A furry creature with a paper hat stood there, barely taller than the counter, which explained why I'd missed him. Tally, Bobka Protector, Level 63, Caretaker of this safe room. This is a non-combatant NPC. Bobka Protectors are magical, gnome-like creatures who exist solely to watch over safe rooms. They do everything from scrub the toilets to prepare your food. Now, this should be me. Tally, Bobka Protector, Level 63, Caretaker of this safe room. This is a non-combatant NPC. Bobka Protectors are magical, gnome-like creatures who exist solely to watch over safe rooms. They do everything from scrub the toilets to prepare your food. They are surly, smelly, and they never wash their hands. The hairy dwarf didn't move, like he was a statue. His hair was brown, but it had an odd, almost green tinge to it. The creature had so much hair on his face that I could only see his black eyes and his bulbous nose, which was covered with angry, red veins. He smelled vaguely of wet moss. He wore a blue apron, a plain paper hat, and he had a name tag that read, Tally. Hi there.
Do you wish for food?
His voice was louder than I expected. The creature had a Slavic accent. Not quite Russian, but close. What do you have? I looked back up at the menu board, which hadn't changed. Is there a list somewhere? Sorry, I'm new here.
Tally knows you are new here. This dungeon has just opened. It opened without warning, so Tally is not ready. It opened without warning, so Tally is not ready. But I am ready enough to make most food for human crawler. Tally is prepared, has been preparing for many of your years to make food for human crawlers.
He leaned. He leaned, raising up on his toes to look at Donut, who was bouncing about in the ball pit.
I am not prepared for cat, but I have milk. Is better than pet biscuit.
Actually, she really likes yogurt. I'm not supposed to give her too much. B gets... Cats need meat to survive. B gets... Cats need meat to survive.
Yes. Will you be renting a room?
The creature barely moved a muscle when he talked. It unnerved me. Yes, I know you're... Yes, I know our time is limited, but I need to sleep.
I shall give yogurt to cat. I will have meat for cat when you wake. But I can make food for you now if you wish.
Sure. You really have yogurt?
Yes. What is it you wish for?
I realized, at that moment, that I was starving. Is there anything you recommend?
You wish me to make food of my choice?
Yeah, why not? As long as it's not any sort of fish. I've had enough fish to last 2 lifetimes. Tally nodded by barely moving his chin.
What is your spice tolerance? 1 to 5.
Are we talking human spice tolerance? I like spicier, so 4, but only if it's on a human scale.
It is a human scale. Now sit. Open boxes. Wait. Tally will bring you food, then you sleep.
He placed a fast food cup in a small paper bowl on the counter and then nodded at a row of self-serve soda machines before turning and waddling toward the back. My choices at the soda machine were something called Hoop Cola, water, milk, vodka, and something called Worka, which I determined to be beer after I tapped the lever. I was tempted by the beer, but I went with water. I filled the little bowl with water as well. I took a sip, and I was surprised at how cold, how pure it tasted. I shook my head and sat at a booth. I'd received multiple boxes, including a silver adventurer box for finding my first safe room. I spent the next several minutes sifting through the mostly useless loot. Potion, torch, bandages. That was new. They stopped bleed effects. I didn't know if my trollskin shirt stopped that or not. It was all the same stuff except for a silver ring I found in the silver box. The ring gave me +1 to my constitution, bringing the stat up to 10. Donut jumped up on the table while we waited. She drank a bit while I finished examining my loot. She had several boxes as well, including a gold magic item box she'd received for being one of the first 100 crawlers to level magic missile up to level 3. In the box was 25 potions of mana restoration and a collar charm. The charm was a little silver butterfly. Donut squeaked in delight when she received it. It even had a little ring on it so it'd easily attach to her collar. The charm jingled when it moved. The game really was tailoring the prizes toward the crawler.
You don't want to wear it.
No. You don't want to wear a damn bell around your neck. Do you know why people put them on cats? So the birds and squirrels can hear them sneaking up on them.
It's adorable.
The charm poofed onto her collar ring.
And I am wearing it.
Talisman of the Slate Butterfly. Those who remember and commemorate the sad tale of the slate butterfly are given a boon by the fairies of the world. That story even made me cry. Adds +4 to the light on your feet skill. Adds +1 to intelligence. Winged fairies will no longer be automatically hostile toward you. I had no idea what the tale of the slate butterfly was, but I had to admit it was a good item. But was it worth the extra noise we would make? I didn't know. I wasn't exactly the king of stealth either. The light on your feet skill simply meant she'd be able to pounce higher and farther. She was already a 3 in the skill when she'd received it, so the charm made her a 7. The moment she put it on, she went bounding back toward the play area and jumped all the way to the top of the plastic tubes, a leap that was twice as high as she'd been able to go before. She spent the next 10 minutes with the zoomies, rushing around the play area like she had when she was a kitten. Shit. That had been what? 4 years ago? Hey, be careful. Don't forget you still gotta land. Hey, be careful. Don't forget you still gotta land. Tally emerged from the kitchen holding 2 trays. He waddled from around the corner and placed them both on the table.
Eat!
Donut had a simple bowl filled with white yogurt. She returned to the table and sniffed it suspiciously. What is this? I poked at my food with a plastic fork. It smelled delicious.
Merg Vindaloo, spice level 4. Boneless chicken cubes. Boneless chicken cubes simmered in velvety sweet and sour vindaloo sauce. Also potatoes and other spices. It is on top of biryani rice, and I have also made garlic and spinach naan. I apologize, I do not have lamb. They took my lamb for a mob in preparation for the second floor. Also, Your Royal Highness, I have special ordered a fresh salmon for your meal upon waking. I will have it properly prepared and diced and garnished for you later.
Your Highness? Your Highness?
Thank you, Tally. Oh, and Tally? Yes, Your Highness. Please make sure Carl and I have the best appointed room for our convalescence this evening. That'll be all. Please make sure Carl and I have the best appointed room for our convalescence this evening. That'll be all.
I'm pretty sure they're all the same. Also, you don't want a room of your own?
Of course, Your Highness.
Tally turned away. I looked at the cat, and she blinked and tilted her fuzzy head, her approximation of a shrug.
It's not my fault he sees me as royalty. It's not my fault he sees me as royalty.
I took a bite of the food, and I immediately forgot everything else in the world. Food.
Be right back.
Of the food. and I am bite of the food, and I took a bite of the food, and I immediately forgot everything else in the world. World. It was literally the most delicious thing. It was literally the most delicious thing I had ever tasted. I'd never been a huge Indian food fan, but holy shit, it was just the right level of heat. And I devoured it in minutes. Tally had returned to his post at the counter and remained there, unmoving. Dude, this was the best thing I've ever eaten. Are you going to be in all the safe rooms?
No. When this floor collapses, I will move to a random floor in the dungeon. When that floor collapses, I will move down until I am no longer needed.
Well, I'm thinking we're going to stay here the next couple of days. I fought the urge to lick the plate. Could he really make anything in the world? The world is gone. A wave of sadness washed over me, unexpectedly. Expectedly.
Nope!
Oh, fucking goddamn it.
We can't stay here. We can't stay here. We need to keep moving.
I have an idea. I think there is a nest of those scatterbugs just next door. I say we spend our time here and try to clear out the rest. Surely we'll get some experience. Once the entrances to the next level down show up, we'll go searching for a staircase. But until then, we have a spot to sleep, a supply of good food, and a nearby source of experience. I think this is a good place.
Okay, but we need to come up with a snappy way to kill them. Something exciting, yet cute. Something with zest. I want on that show, Carl.
We're not getting on the show.
Weren't you paying attention? Millions of followers! Loot boxes! We need to get on that show. Maybe we need a catchphrase. Yes.
All right, I think one more scene and we're done for today. Time to level collapse. 4 days, 3 hours. I slept much longer than I planned. The rooms were small, but not claustrophobic like the dungeon bathrooms or the racks in a Coast Guard cutter. The bed was more comfortable than I expected. The white cotton sheets smelled brand new and faintly like laundry detergent. And while the halls of the dungeon were humid and stuffy, the temperature in the rooms was a bit chilly, just how I liked it. Donut insisted upon sleeping in the room with me. As usual, she slept on my neck. I didn't dare take off my shirt or cloak, though I knew I was supposed to be safe. Once my head hit the pillow, I was out. I didn't dream, wasn't haunted by nightmares like most nights. I awakened feeling... I didn't dream, wasn't haunted by nightmares like most nights. I awakened feeling refreshed and full of energy. I looked at the countdown time, astonished that I'd slept 10 hours straight. I hadn't slept that long without waking in at least 5 years. It took the literal end of the world to finally give me a full night's rest. Donut yawned deeply and rolled onto her side as I sat up.
Go back to bed. I need several more hours. That is an order from your princess.
Get up. Talia's making you food, remember? That perked her up. The bathrooms in the restaurant had stalls for showers with soap and shampoo dispensers. There was also cheap, disposable razors and shaving cream. I finally peeled my clothes off and took a long, warm shower. I stayed until the water no longer ran black. I shaved. There were no towels, however, and I had to drip dry. My internal clock was already broken. I knew it was nighttime again on the planet's surface, but when I saw the plate with bacon, eggs, and pancakes, I sat down and inhaled it all. It felt like breakfast time. It felt like a new day. I wondered about those who'd survived but didn't go into the tunnels. How were they faring? Especially folks in the area of the winter storm. With no shelter, they'd have to build one from scratch. With no electricity, they'd have to make fires. And how much available food would there be? Probably not much. Even most of the animals, like chickens and pigs, were probably in coops and barns during the collapse. Across from me, Donut was eating her third plate of salmon pate. I'd been deliberately avoiding looking up at the board, but I did now. 4,148,111. How soon before my number would be ticked away? I tried asking Tally some general questions about the dungeon, but he refused to answer. He'd only answer questions directly relating to the safe rooms. If I buy personal space, will it transfer from level to level?
Yes, it will. And from Yes, it will. And from safe space to safe space. Also, it's best to buy all the accessories as soon as you can. Some of the items only upgrade when it goes down a level, so if you wait several levels before you purchase a crafting table, it won't get as strong as one purchased earlier.
Soon thereafter, we left to hunt for some bugs. Outside, the hall was just the same as before. I looked warily about for red dots, but I didn't see any of the bugs. I stepped a bit from the entrance, and I pulled out a cigarette and lit it. I counted, and I had 9 left after this one.
Really, Carl? Must you like that? You know how I feel about them.
Oh, fuck, I ran out of cigarettes. Shit. Let's try this. Try it this way.
Them.
Jesus, Donut. You're worse than B. B. You're worse than B. Worse than B.
While Miss Beatrice and I don't always see eye to eye on certain policy decisions of the household, I must agree with her on this one. Cigarettes are disgusting.
Well, there are only 9 left, so you won't have to suffer. Well, there are only 9 left, so you won't have to suffer. I stopped dead as the trio of scatterers rounded the corner, chittering as they approached. It was 2 level 2s and a level 4 that was larger than the others. This third bug was almost the size of Donut. I wouldn't be squishing this one with my foot. Scatterer Brood Guardian, Level 4. Cockroaches that have been baptized in rage and monster energy drinks. Like its smaller brethren, the Scatterer Brood Guardian is a giant bug who wants nothing more than to fuck you up. Unlike his little brother, these guys are dangerous. Shit. That doesn't sound good. I really didn't want to fight this thing with my hands. Despite knowing I did less damage this way, I pulled out my toad cudgel and clasped it in my hand while Donut blasted the large cockroach 3 times with a magic missile. It hissed and rolled back a few times, its health knocked down by half.
Want me to hit it again? I'll have to down a mana potion.
No, I'll take it. I stomped forward with my foot, crushing both the smaller roaches. The Brood Guardian jumped back up and charged again. It was fast, but I was ready for it. It skittered forward, mandible antennae things thrashing. I swung the cudgel down at its head. The round edge of my weapon bounced off the creature, which hissed and fell back. The hit didn't appear to do much damage. Plus, I had to awkwardly bend down to use it. I quickly switched to my poker to see if that'd be better. It charged again, and it charged again, and I stabbed with the iron stick. Its giant head knocked the poker right out of my hand, and it went flying. This place has the shittiest weapons. I stepped back and snap-kicked, hitting the roach right under its little semicircle head. The kick did more damage than the magic missile. I swept forward, continuing to kick at it while it shrank back. Donut leaped off my shoulder with a hiss as I jumped in the air, coming down hard on its back. The cockroach exploded like a balloon filled with coconut pudding. God damn it! I looked at the goo on my feet.
The level 4 ones aren't too hard to kill. He just smells awful. He just smells awful.
I looked at the map. A couple curves of the halls led to the large room. It looked as if there was a door, too. Okay, this is what we're going to do. I went to retrieve my poker. The damn thing was useless, and I shoved it in my inventory. We'll wait until your mana refills. Then we're going to creep toward that main room and peek inside. If it's too much to handle, we'll run back here and rush into the safe room.
The safe room door won't open if mobs are outside.
We'll be fast.
That's fine.
Fast.
That's fine. Just remember I can run a lot faster than you.
We ended up killing a couple dozen more of the level 4 scatterers before we reached the door. We found a hit to the face with a magic missile just before it lunged would stun it. I'd punched down a few times and then stomped the head. Stomping the head almost always resulted in a critical hit. We received several vials of something called scatterer hemolymph, which looked like the white goo that came out of them when they died. The system identified it as an alchemy material. Every once in a while, the scatterer would get inflicted with sepsis when it was hit by a magic missile. When that happened, it would turn and try to run off. It would usually collapse and die after it took about 30 steps. Both Donut and I were level 5 when we got to the door. For me, the higher levels didn't really mean anything. I received 3 stat points every time I leveled, but I couldn't distribute them. Yet. The only thing that helped was that my pugilism, unarmed combat, foot soldier, and smush skills were all level 5 now also. Because of Donut's special buff, she was growing with each level up. Her strength was at 15. Now, when she jumped onto me, I could feel the strength of her claws on my shoulder. Now, when she jumped onto me, I could feel the strength of her claws on my shoulder, even through the leather jacket and troll skin. Even through the leather jacket and troll skin shirt. Do you have any sort of slashing skill? You know, something with your claws?
Of course I do.
Claws?
Of course I do. My slice attack is at level 4, and my back claw is also level 4.
Okay, good. You can help if we get into trouble. Your strength is way higher than mine. You should get in there once your magic runs out. The door at the end of the tunnel didn't have any sort of official sign on my minimap. We crept toward it, going as silently as possible. Donut's little bell jingled with each step. The room beyond was large and round-shaped, probably about 1,500 square feet. Probably about 1,500 square feet. The door itself was old and grimy, with a doorknob that appeared to be hanging on by a single bolt. While it wasn't labeled on the minimap, there was a paper sign attached to the door written in Spanish. It looked like some sort of official notice. The sign was old and weathered, and it looked like it had been there a while. No entrar. No entrar. I think that means do not enter. The next part, por orden del Centro de Salud? I don't know. By order of something, I think? Can you read it? Donut just looked at me like it was the stupidest question she'd ever been asked. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're cracking the door and looking inside. The doorknob didn't work, and the door wasn't fully latched. I pushed it open as slowly as I could. The room was pitch black. I couldn't see a damn thing. I heard rustling, so I knew there was something in there, but I couldn't see what it was. Donut was standing completely still, her hair poofed out like when she was freaked out. What do you see?
There's a lot of level 1 and 2 cockroaches in there. Lots and lots of them. But there's other stuff in there, and I can't tell what it is. It looks like piles of garbage. It smells like that bag you take with you on those days that other guy comes over to the apartment. You know, like socks, but hundreds of them. I don't see anything else. Light a torch and throw it in there.
Wait, what? Are you talking about my gym bag? Some guy was coming over to the apartment when I was at the gym?
Focus, Carl. Light a torch.
The gym?
Focus, Carl. Light a torch.
Actually, I have a better idea. I couldn't believe it. Actually, I could believe it. It was my own fault. I should have broken up with her long ago. I felt like an idiot. I also suddenly felt very reckless. Actually, I have a better idea. I couldn't believe it. Get ready to run. I pulled out the stick of goblin dynamite. The red stick was wet and sticky on the outside, like it was sweating. Goblin dynamite. This stuff is especially volatile. It's so volatile you probably don't even need to light the wick to set it off. It's so volatile, even loud noises might set it off. Keep it in your inventory until you're ready to use it. Be gentle and don't squeeze too hard, or else you might get the boom! Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
You are a fucking asshole. Okay, let's just hope it doesn't blow when it hits the ground. Run now. I'm right behind you.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
You are a fucking asshole. Okay, let's just hope it doesn't. Run now. I'm right behind you.
All right. And that's it for this chapter, guys. For this whole episode. So you know what you're getting into if you came in here and listened to episode 1 here. Let's go ahead and stop the screen. Thanks again for coming. I don't know if I'm going to do I don't know if I'm going to do episode 2 tomorrow or not. We'll see. But watch out, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, make sure that you will get notified if I do pop in. I will be announcing on Facebook and in Discord if it is happening. But yeah, now we have all the audio done for all the voice stuff done from me on this particular episode, and we'll be able to start applying sound effects and music and a few of the other actors as well. But yeah, that's it for today. Really enjoyed having you guys here. Don't forget, we have our Christmas in July sale. So that's 15% off everything, 25% off gifting everything. And that's the whole library. And remember, we just came out with 3 different audiobooks this month: Vampire Queen 2, Legends of Arenia, books 1 and 2, and then Monster Hunt NYC. We brought book 2 back, and we just released book 3. So if you haven't already, go pick those up. They're on sale, so take advantage of that. And of course, remember, it's only on sale through our website. You won't be able to get the discount if you buy through the app. Yeah. Other than that, there's a new YouTube video of our Christmas in July sale commercial, so you can go watch that if you want a little 1-minute booster to your day. And that's about it. So later tonight we have Sound Booth Theater Live. If you want to come back, we'll have some of the crew. We'll be reviewing a movie called Begin Again in celebration of Monster Hunt. And yeah, that's about it. I think that's all I got. So y'all have a good rest of your day. If I don't see you at SBTL, hopefully tomorrow. But hopefully I do see you later tonight. And you guys are all awesome. Thank you so much one more time. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.